Alienation.
Alienation.
Unemployment may provoke a sense of alienation from society. The alienation of voters.
Alight.
Alight.
The car was set alight and pushed over a hill.
Jed's face was alight with excitement. She alighted from the train at 74th Street. His mind alighted on several possible answers.
Align.
Align.
Church leaders have aligned themselves with the opposition. A country closely aligned with the West. The desks were neatly aligned in rows. Make sure that all the holes align. This policy is closely aligned with the goals of the organization.
Alignment.
Alignment.
The geometrical alignment of the sun, moon, and earth at the eclipse. The wheels were out of alignment. Their military alignment with the U.S.
Alike.
Alike.
My mother and I are alike in many ways. The twins were dressed alike. I learned a lot from teachers and students alike.
Alimentary canal.
Alimentary canal.
Alimony.
Alimony.
A-list.
A-list.
The Hollywood A-list. A-list celebrities.
A-lister.
A-lister. Several A-listers are expected to be at the movie premiere.
Alit.
Alit.
Alive.
Alive.
It was a bad accident. They're lucky to be alive.
My grandparents are still alive.
We stayed alive by eating berries.
He was kept alive on a life support machine. Apparently, he's alive and well and living in Brazil. Ancient traditions are very much alive in rural areas. Christianity is alive and well in Asia. The sport is still very much alive and kicking in this country. It was the kind of morning when you wake up and feel really alive. Her face was alive with excitement. The whole house was alive with activity. Hopefully, we can make history come alive for the children. She only came alive when she sat down at the piano. Seaside resorts that come alive in the summer. The company is alive to the threat posed by foreign imports. The pond was alive with fish. The way he describes his characters really brings them alive.
Alkali.
Alkali.
Alkaline.
Alkaline.
All.
All.
Have you done all your homework? He had worked all his life in the mine. The boys played video games all day. They were quarreling all the time. Hannah didn't say a single word all the way back home. Almost all of the music was from Italian operas. I've heard it all before.
She'd given up all hope of having a child.
Someone's taken all my books. Will all the girls please stand over here? All children should be taught to swim.
16% of all new cars sold in Western Europe these days are diesel-engined.
They all speak excellent English.
Important changes that will affect all of us. All you need is a hammer and some nails. All I'm asking for is a little respect. I'm doing all I can to help her. I hope all is well with you.
All was dark and silent down by the harbour wall.
Can any of us say in all honesty that we did everything we could? They've done nothing at all to try and put the problem right. He's not looking at all well. Do you mind if I stay a little longer? No, not at all. Has the situation improved at all? Social workers have to deal with all kinds of problems.
You shouldn't have done it. You, of all people, should know that.
She did not want to quarrel with Maria today, of all days. All in all, it had been one of the most miserable days of Henry's life. For all his faults, he's a kind-hearted old soul. For all my love of landscape, nothing could persuade me to spend another day in the Highlands. In all, there were 215 candidates.
We received £1,550 in cash and promises of another £650, making £2,200 in all.
They ate the whole fish, head, bones, tail, and all. And you can take that smelly old coat out of here, and all. The game lasted all of 58 seconds.
The repairs are going to cost all of £15,000.
Half-heartedness won't do. It's got to be all or nothing. The coach expects every player to give their all in every game. The coach expects every player to give their all in every game. It was all I could do to stop them hitting each other. When all's said and done, he's only a kid.
Her beach outfit is all sorts of wrong.
You shouldn't be sitting here by yourself all alone. A strange woman, dressed all in black. If people want more freedom of choice, then I'm all for it. It was a dreadful experience. Never mind, it's all over now. There were bits of paper all over the floor. He has cuts all over his legs. She ached all over. Antique clocks from all over the world are on display. People came from all over the country. They're putting up new offices all over the place. Clayton's achievement is all the more remarkable when you consider his poor performance last season. The job was made all the easier by having the proper tools.
Britain's coal industry has all but disappeared.
His left arm was all but useless.
All too often it's the mother who gets blamed for her children's behaviour.
In these conditions, it was all too easy to make mistakes. Chapman had known all along that the plan wouldn't work. We had to admit that Dad had been right all along. All round, it's not a bad car. It was a nasty business all round.
There were smiles all round. He paid for drinks all round.
The game ended 1-1.
A project costing £10,000 all told. If someone tells the police, then it'll be all up with me. The mayor and mayoress were all smiles and kisses during the grand ceremony.
Before I could speak, he was all over me. You're getting me all confused. He was late, of course, but that's Tim all over. He drove me home, and he was all, "I love this car. It's like a rocket." It doesn't sound all that good, does it? I don't think it matters all that much. I don't know why you keep chasing her around. She's not all that.
all,
all,
An all-male club. An all-wool coat. An all-day seminar. An all-night cafe.
Allah.
Allah.
All-American.
All-American.
An all-American family. An all-American football player.
all around,
All around.
An all-around athlete.
Allay.
Allay.
The president made a statement to allay public anxiety.
All clear.
all clear,
We've got the all clear for the new project.
All comers.
All comers.
The marathon is open to all comers.
Allegation.
Allegation.
Mr. Singh has strongly denied the allegations of sexual harassment. An allegation that senior government figures were involved. The teacher made serious allegations against a colleague. A committee will investigate allegations of racial discrimination.
Allege.
Allege.
It was alleged that the policeman had accepted bribes. The prosecution alleged that the man had been responsible for an act of terrorism. The water is alleged to be polluted with mercury.
Alleged. Alleged.
Their alleged involvement in international terrorism. The alleged victim made the complaint at a police station in York.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
A sports car allegedly stolen in Manchester.
Allegiance.
Allegiance.
You owe allegiance to your king. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. An oath of allegiance. The people here have strong political allegiances.
Allegory.
Allegory.
allegro,
Allegro.
alleluia,
Alleluia.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
all-embracing,
All-embracing.
An all-embracing vision of society.
Allen key.
Allen key,
Allen screw.
Allen screw,
Allen wrench.
Allen wrench.
Allergen.
Allergen.
Allergic.
Allergic.
I'm allergic to penicillin. An allergic reaction to nuts. An allergic rash. Most men are allergic to housework.
Allergic. Allergy.
Allergy.
I have an allergy to cats. A food allergy.
Alleviate.
Alleviate.
A new medicine to alleviate the symptoms of flu. Measures to alleviate poverty.
Alley.
Alley.
The alley led to the railway bridge.
She found the side alley where the stage door was located. The job sounds right up your alley.
Alley cat.
Alley cat.
alleyway,
Alleyway.
All fired.
All fired.
If he weren't so all-fired sure of himself, I'd like him better.
All fours.
All fours.
All go.
all go,
It was all go from 8 o'clock until we finished at 5.
Alliance.
Alliance.
Britain's military alliance with her NATO partners.
The possibility of a political alliance between the two parties. The companies have formed an alliance to market the product. Independent organizations and alliances.
Relief workers in alliance with local charities are trying to help the victims.
Allied.
Allied.
An Allied bombing raid. Allied forces. Anthropology is closely allied to the field of psychology. Agriculture and allied industries. Loosely allied guerrilla groups.
Alligator.
Alligator.
Alligator shoes.
All-important.
All important.
The all-important question in everyone's minds.
All in.
All in.
All in deals to Australia and New Zealand.
The hourly rate is £20 all in.
All-inclusive.
All-inclusive.
An all-inclusive vacation cruise.
All in one.
All in one.
An all-in-one TV and video.
All-nighter.
All-nighter.
Alliteration.
Alliteration.
Allocate.
Allocate.
The importance of allocating resources to local communities. You should allocate the same amount of time to each question. $1 million was allocated for disaster relief. Several patients were waiting to be allocated a bed.
Allocation.
Allocation.
12 hours a week seemed a generous allocation of your time. The allocation of funds to universities.
Allotment.
Allotment.
The budget allotment for each county is below what is needed. The allotment of shares in the company.
All out.
All out.
An all-out effort to win. Canada will have to go all out on the ice if they want to win.
Allow.
Allow.
My parents wouldn't allow me to go to the party.
Students are not allowed to eat in class.
Are dictionaries allowed in the exam? Passengers are allowed 1 item of hand luggage each. How much time are we allowed? How much time are we allowed?
He allowed himself the occasional glass of wine.
We don't allow diving in the pool. I don't allow the cat in the bedroom. The audience is not allowed backstage.
Students should be allowed to make their own decisions.
Don't allow your problems to dominate your life.
Our new system will allow for more efficient use of resources. A 24-hour ceasefire allowed the two armies to reach an agreement. A seatbelt that allows the driver greater freedom of movement. This adjustment of the figures allows a fairer comparison. Allow yourselves plenty of time to get to the airport. I've allowed half a bottle of wine for each person. The judge allowed the evidence. I allow that there may have been a mistake. I allow that there may have been a mistake. Allow me, the waiter said, opening the door. Allowing for inflation, the cost of the project will be $2 million. You should always allow for the possibility that it might rain. The facts allow only one interpretation.
Allowable.
Allowable.
The maximum allowable dosage is 2 tablets a day. Allowable deductions such as alimony and business expenses.
Allowance.
His father gives him a monthly allowance of £200.
Do you get an allowance for clothes? Sales staff get a generous mileage allowance or a company car. If you are entitled to sickness allowance, you must claim it from your employer. The recommended daily allowance of vitamin C. Passenger's baggage allowance is £75 per person.
A new tax allowance.
There is always an allowance in insurance premiums for whether someone smokes or not. The budget makes allowances for extra staff when needed. Dad's under pressure. You have to make allowances.
Alloy.
Alloy.
Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc.
All-powerful.
All-powerful.
An all-powerful dictator.
All-purpose.
All-purpose.
An all-purpose cleaner.
All right.
All right.
What's the food like? It's all right, but the place on campus is better. How's school going, Steve? Oh, all right, I guess.
Kate looks really unhappy. I'd better make sure she's all right.
Are you feeling all right? The kids seem to be getting on all right at school. Tony was worried about the meeting, but it went all right.
Don't worry, it'll turn out all right.
She's doing all right. She's got a job with Microsoft. Is Thursday morning all right with you? We'll eat at 8. Does that sound all right to you? It's all right. Mommy's here. Thanks for all your help. That's quite all right.
Would it be all right if I left early?
Is it all right to bring my dog? Why not come along? Oh, all right.
I'll leave a key with the neighbours, all right?
The train leaves at 5:30. All right, I'm coming. All right, you two. What are you doing in my room?
All right, now I'd like to introduce our first speaker. I get 8 weeks holiday a year. Well, it's all right for some.
Are you sure it was Bill? Oh, yes, it was him all right. You passed? All right.
The new boss isn't too bad, is she? No, she's all right. How are you, John? Oh, all right, can't complain. Workmen have yet to finish the new complex, but the organisers are confident it will be all right on the night.
All round.
All round.
An all-round athlete.
All-rounder.
All-rounder.
A good all-rounder.
All-seater. All-seater.
All singing.
All singing, all dancing.
Allspice.
Allspice.
All-star.
All-star.
An all-star cast.
All-terrain. All-terrain.
An all-terrain bike.
All through.
All through.
All-time.
All-time.
The price of wheat has reached an all-time low. They reached an all-time record score.
Allude.
Allude.
Rick didn't want to discuss his past, though he alluded darkly to some bad things that happened.
Allure.
Allure.
The allure of foreign travel. At 50, she had lost none of her sexual allure. Harmonies that never failed to allure the listener. The alluring magic of Hong Kong.
Illusion.
Illusion.
The committee made no allusion to the former president in its report. Eliot's poetry is full of biblical allusions. In his poetry, we find many allusions to the human body.
Alluvial.
Alluvial.
Alluvial floodplains.
Alluvium.
Alluvium.
Ally.
Ally.
A meeting of the European allies.
Ridley was one of the Queen's closest allies.
A staunch ally of President Soros. A network of political allies. She knew she had found an ally in Ted. Exercise is an all-important ally in your campaign to lose weight. Some of the northern cities allied themselves with the emperor.
Alma mater.
Alma mater.
Almanac.
Almanac.
A football almanac. A nautical almanac.
Almighty.
Almighty.
There was an almighty bang and the car came to a halt. Almond.
Almond.
Stir in the ground almonds and egg.
Almost.
Almost.
Have you almost finished? Supper's almost ready. It was almost midnight. Almost nothing was done to improve the situation. The story is almost certainly true. He's almost as old as I am. Marcia visits her son almost every day.
Alms.
Alms.
Almshouse. Almshouse. Aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
Aloft.
Aloft.
He emerged holding a baby aloft.
Alone.
Alone.
She lives alone. You shouldn't leave a child alone in the house. My wife and I like to spend time alone together away from the kids. It was scary being all alone in a strange city. She was all alone in the world. I cried like a child because I felt so alone. He was left to raise their 2 children alone. The case will cost thousands of pounds in legal fees alone. Julie alone knew the truth. After years of working for a big company, I decided to go it alone. "Leave me alone," she screamed. Leave those cakes alone. They're for the guests. In economic matters, they should leave well alone. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. You're not alone in feeling upset, believe me. The courage to stand alone. The house stood alone at the end of the road.
Along.
Along.
I was driving along, thinking about Chris, a group of children walking along in a line. You're welcome to come along if you like. I think I'll go along and watch the game. Mandy brought some of her friends along. Why don't you take your guitar along? Another bus should be along in a minute. Every so often, a band comes along that changes music history. After a 5-hour operation, Wendy is coming along just fine. Dunn was murdered, along with 3 guards. They should have known all along that she was lying. We were driving along Follyfoot Road. She glanced anxiously along the line of faces. He slid his hand along her arm. The palm trees along the shore swayed in the wind. The toolbar along the top of your screen. There were cheering crowds all along Pennsylvania Avenue. Hugo's house is about 200 yards away, along the main street. The bathroom is just along the corridor. I've been lucky, but I've had my share of heartbreak along the way.
Alongside.
Alongside.
A car drew up alongside. Children's prices are shown alongside adult prices. Charles spent a week working alongside the miners. Organized crime continued to flourish alongside the mainstream economy. His achievement may seem small alongside the great triumphs of 20th century technology. Athletics should rank alongside soccer and cricket as a major sport.
Aloof.
Aloof.
They worked hard but tended to stay aloof from the local inhabitants. She had always kept herself aloof from the boys in class. Beneath that aloof exterior, Gail is a warm, sympathetic person. Initially, the president remained aloof from the campaign. The doctor held himself somewhat aloof from the rest of the ship's crew.
Alopecia.
Alopecia.
Allowed.
Allowed.
Joanne, would you read the poem aloud? The pain made him cry aloud. She could have laughed aloud. What did you say? Sorry, I was just thinking aloud.
Alpaca.
Alpaca.
Alpha.
Alpha.
Collective bargaining was viewed as the alpha and omega of trade unionism.
Alphabet.
Alphabet.
The International Phonetic Alphabet.
Alphabetical.
Alphabetical.
The files are arranged in alphabetical order. Are the records filed alphabetically?
Alphabetize. Alphabetize.
Alpha girl. Alpha girl.
Alpha male.
Alpha male.
Alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric codes.
Alpha particle.
Alpha particle.
Alpha test.
Alpha test.
Alpha version.
Alpha version. Alpine.
Alpine.
Breathtaking alpine scenery. Alpine flowers. Alpine skiing.
Already.
Already.
The design of the new house is similar to those that have already been built. The performance had already started when we arrived. You already told me that. Fancy a coffee? No thanks, I already have one. Have you eaten all that food already? Is it 5 o'clock already? Hurry up, we're already late.